Oh, yes. Look, I'm starting to shake.
I'm gonna do all this just for a photo.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
We're gonna do something fun today.
Yeah. I mean, well, I feel like, you know, we got a little sunshine. Simon's still in Mexico.
Yeah.
We should have some fun. I mean, we know he's having fun right now.
Before the boss gets back, we should just...
Yeah, play a little. So we're gonna do stoppies today. You spent a lot of time in Mexico working on like hardcore skills, and now we're gonna have some fun because really that's, as we know, what I'm about.
I mean, stoppies would be cool.
Yeah, stoppies
I don't know
would
if
be
there's
fun.
enough padding in the world for stoppies, but...
Well, we'll start out with a stop on your front wheel, and then maybe we can work into a rolling stoppie. See where we end up.
That's ambitious. That sounds like half a year's worth of work right there.
I mean, so, you know, yeah, these are a step above manually. So,
which I'm still working on.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, now in this conversation happening, yeah, manuals have taken you a long time to work on, and the things we might talk about today are going to be the same way. You know, and some of this will play into the trail, like you see really tight pivot turns on switchbacks where you go up on your front wheel. This will all come from learning stop.
So today's actually practical skills.
Well, let's not get carried away now. We're going to have some fun.
Okay. All right, well, let's do it.
All right. Show me your stoppie. Show me what you got. Let me see like what your stoppie looks like. What is a stoppie for Linnea this morning?
I've never practiced stoppies.
So let's see what you got. Let's see a stoppie.
It's basically just a rear wheel lift.
Well, you're not stopping.
Uh-oh.
So you're trying to do like a rolling stoppie. So this is a stoppie to me, Linnea. So a true stoppie is this.
Oh, so you're braking and letting the bike move up into you.
Yeah, I'm doing a stoppie.
I don't know what a stoppie is really.
Oh.
I've seen them.
Well, maybe I'm going to get corrected on comments, but to me, as an old school BMXer, a stoppie is simply.
Yeah, that looks right.
Yeah. So, do you want to try to do one before I help you?
The thing that when I'm trying it, I feel like my body's coming over the stem and then I have no strength.
So we need to send you home to do push-ups.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about this.
Like I feel like my body's coming here, and once I'm that far forward, I just feel this pressure in the front of my shoulders, and I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
You got that locked, so let's lean forward. Let's lock that wheel. Let's keep going. Hold your arms. You're holding yourself up. See what I mean? So maybe you have to trust that you actually have that strength. Okay, so I really want you to feel this motion of when your hips shift and you lock your arms, that lets this start to pivot. And it's really when that wheel quits rolling and actually locks and you start to rotate on the axle. Okay. So what I want you to do is go ahead and stand on your bike in your position. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna start rolling you, and you're gonna get, you know, your hips back, and you're gonna come up and forward with locked arms and pull the brake, and we're gonna hit that point where the wheel stops moving.
Okay.
And it's going to lock, and you're going to come at me, and then you'll be able to shift your hips back to hold it.
Okay.
Okay? So go ahead and shift. See that?
Okay.
So let's do one more. So let's roll back a little bit. Okay, let's try it one more time.
Okay.
And so the shift and the brake and the straight arms all at once. Okay.
I don't think I did it right.
Yeah, you're not shifting. You're not actually like trying to go.
Are you going
into
to tell me when to go? Or
yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I tell you to go, actually bring your hips up and forward too, and lock your arms.
Okay.
Okay. So ready? So shift back and go. There you go. Feel that?
Yeah, I got a little crooked.
That's all right. Let's do one more.
Okay.
I like it. So go ahead and jump up. So in position.
Okay.
Your hips are back, and go. Nice.
Yay.
Feel that?
Okay.
Okay.
That makes
So
sense.
it's three. It's forward and up, locked arms, and then you come up into it, and then you shift back to tuck it out. So going slow, you're not going to be able to flip over forward. So you're going to be able to pull that brake pretty hard. You got to pull that brake. There you go. Now imagine you're going to come to a stop with that motion. So you actually have to stop. That's the stoppie.
That's the stoppie
That is
part
the
of
key to a stoppie is stopping.
We have so many rules around here.
I know. I said it would be fun. Now I'm like, pull your brake. Come to a stop. So that motion, so you asked about when you're going to pull that brake.
Yeah.
So as that rear end's lifting is when you're on that brake and you're on it all the way. So at that point your tire stops. So if you think about when you're coming in at the speed you're coming in, because you're afraid to pull your brake right now.
Yeah.
So coming in that slow, I mean, think about the force it would take. Like this is nobody on the bike. I can barely lift it. Let me get a little weight on the front end. Like it's hard to lift this bike and get it all the way to here. So the speed you're going, you could, as long as you're weighting your front tire so it doesn't skid, you're pretty much going to be impossible to flip your bike over at the speed you're going.
Okay.
So go ahead and go slow a couple times and trust just leaning forward and actually locking this up and letting it lift. So yeah, that's the stop in that movement. When that back tire comes up, that's when you're, see how you almost feel your body shift back anyway?
Okay. Ooh! That startled me.
So yeah, what's funny is you let your legs come up to let it soak up, and what you would normally do is shift back a little bit, and that would, you know, counteract that. So that's where you want to get to actually do a stoppie though. I mean, you actually had your tire like that high.
Yeah, it just smacked me in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go, but let's think about where we are trying to do a stoppie. And I want you to have that sensation of, because once it stops, that's when you get to start exaggerating it by tucking. So try to think about, do this, and go ahead, and if it only comes up a little bit, go ahead and come to a stop though, so you start to get the sensation of doing a stoppie and not like a roll through. So you'll come in, it'll lift. Like, don't be afraid to come to a stop. There you go. So that's what I want. So you want to come to a stop. So then, see how then I start to let it come up under me? But
Yeah.
you have to be at a stop or you're rolling out of it.
Oh, you're.
So until you stop the bike, you can't let the back come up because it's always, the front's always trying to outrun the back tire.
Yay, that was
If
good.
you want to help,
Linnea.
yeah, I want you to still come to a stop. What I'm wanting you to get to is that when you lock and you stop, you're going to feel that bike pivot. Where right now it's rolling,
Yeah.
and there's a change that happens when you stop. It creates a pivot point.
Oh, I see. Okay. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, once the tire stops, now you're pivoting on the axle. But you got to stop. There it was. Now you're getting that weight thing. I see it happening because you're letting your arms bend. And think about how much more strength you have when your arms are locked to hold yourself up. Like, where is it hard to hold a push-up? How much easier is it to sit
Yeah.
like this? So when you're talking about your arms feel like they're going to give out, it's because you're trying to hold it here. I mean, I immediately have to tense up my stomach. Look, I'm starting to shake. Yeah,
It's kind of
that's where if the arms were a little more locked, you'd have a little more consistency there. Because again, you think about once that wheel stops, then that wheel's pivoting. You know what I mean? Like if you get back off again and feel that bike come up,
Okay.
and see how your arms are out and straight for that? Like automatically you want to straighten your arms, see that?
Yeah.
And that's where your body does go, like that's where those arms need to be straight. That's the support you need. There you go. That last one was probably your best one. So work off of that.
I will say 20 minutes ago, I thought we were never going to get this.
Yeah.
But
20 minutes
thanks-
to get a stoppie is pretty
Thanks
fast.
to Jason.
Nice, nice. So you'll slowly shift your hips back as you get more comfortable. There it is. See how it's better too when you actually finally come to a stop and the
Yeah.
front wheel quits rolling, then it all kind of connects. Nice. So you're kind of doing a rolling stoppie. I'd love to
More
see
front
you.
brake.
I'd love to see you lock the wheel, and then when the wheel locks, get that extra pivot.
Okay.
So you've got the body position now, which was what I think made you a little afraid to actually stop. So now let's try to stop. There. That you stopped that, and so it was all delayed, and it was like a longer stoppie, even though you were stopped and not moving. That was
Okay.
that was it.
Okay. If you're enjoying these lessons, we have a full online school at fluidrideonline.com.
Yes, but let's come to a stop because
Jason's putting this stop
I'm going to
in
make
stoppie.
you watch this one more time, and I want you to see the difference actually just from a person watching, because I mean, we're supposed to be having fun today. Today's cool factor, right? So there's two cool factors. There's like, here's cool factor, and then there's this point when it locks up. And when it locks up, now I can tuck and hold it, and like that pause. You can't get that finish when you're rolling.
Wow.
That body tuck. We're gonna have you doing old school BMX stoppies like I did when I was a kid. A little, think Michael Jackson, like that's the big finale. Yes. I love it. You got scared, you threw it. But here's the thing, did you feel, as soon as your tire locked, it lifted?
Yeah.
That's when instead of taking your feet off, you shove your butt back. Okay. And that's the thing is if you're forward, you have the room to do it. So
okay.
You're back, you come forward, it locks, it wants to send you, and that's when you tuck.
Okay.
That was good. So what's interesting was, so you let it come up under you,
yeah.
But you never shifted the butt back, and that's where you were like, oh boy. I love it. Your hip shift was delayed, but you did it. I wish I would have taken that on phone.
I was in the air and I'm like, come on, butt back,
I wish you
butt
could have
back.
seen that on phone now, but that was great because you hit that point, and instead of going, I'm going to do this, you went, oh wait, I got to do this. It was great, and I'm glad that it was slow enough. It worked out.
Oh my gosh.
That was really, I'm like stoked on it. That was actually really cool. It was like this delayed pause. Like, okay, hip shift.
Shoot, what am I doing?
That was it.
Done.
See, you just had to get back to locking the wheel and forget about the hip shift.
Okay. I can't believe we made it this far.
Oh. Dang. Wow. So let's talk about your awesomeness.
That's my favorite topic.
This was such a crazy episode to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're obviously both happy right now, but it was
really hard at first.
It was hard. It was a story. It was hard for me to figure out how to work it with you, and it was hard for you to figure out the body position, and then now look at you.
So I will say,
amazing.
The thing that made me feel like I couldn't do them is I was starting so far forward that any further pressure forward, my body couldn't hold myself up and I was going to collapse, and that's what was keeping me from making any progress at the beginning.
Yeah, and I think that tied into having bent arms. Because you were forward, you felt like you had to hold yourself up when you hit the brakes, when really you needed to hold yourself up when you shifted.
Yeah. It's like if you're doing a push-up and your hands are kind of back behind your shoulders, you don't have any strength up there, and that's where I felt like I was at to begin with. And so when you corrected my body position and brought me back a little bit to start, that gave me somewhere to move into. So what are the key things I should remember when I come back to practice?
I think what's, as a coach coaching somebody, for me to tell you, my first thing would be to stop, to make sure that front tire, make that body position move to where that tire locks up, because if you're rolling through, you're never actually having that shift happen to where instead of rolling, you're pivoting on the front axle. That's when that happens and gets you the ability to then shift back and get into that tucked stoppie position. But to get there through that whole step it's interesting. It's a back, front, back. So we're going to get back so we can get ready. And then we're going to shift ourselves forward and up, which is going to bring us into that position with our arms locked over the bike. And then as that tire stops rolling and becomes locked and we start to pivot on the axle, then we're going to shift our hips back dependent on how much we need to pause out on that balance point.
Yeah.
So it's back, forward, up with locked arms. When the axle locks and it lifts, then we shift our hips back to counterbalance that weight and kind of pause that movement. Because that's what, when you see somebody do a stoppie, like when you watch this video, you'd be like, those ones where it like sits for a second.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're hitting that balance point, and that movement of the hips is what dials it in.
So what was really cool about today is that at least I got to feel it a few times, so now I know what I'm going for.
Yeah, for sure. Once you've hit that balance point and shifted your hips to hold it, now you know, and you can like, you know, just perfect it. Mm-hmm. So once you perfect that, then you can start doing a couple things like this. No footed ones.
Whoa.
Yeah, or even.
Cool guy.
How about.
Wow.
So you can just keep playing around, and you notice I'm sitting on my seat for that. So it's really perfecting my balance.
Oh my gosh.
And being able to hold it. So there's more places to go. It doesn't end with just this classic stoppie.